I'm just getting ready to go live. Here we go. This is what we're going to be looking at today. Okay. Yeah, hello everyone. My name's Gaz Williams. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be looking today at the further looking at the Boss RC-505 Mark II. Those of you who have been watching my other stuff will be kind of well aware that this is floating my boat at the moment. This is the new Boss tabletop looper. It's just come out. Big fan of the Mark I. But yeah, so last week I was looking, this is my first look. I'd literally just got it. Now I've had quite a lot of fun with it and played with it way too much. No, not way too much, but one of the reasons why I like this so much is that it is just such a creative environment, and I want to capture some of that tonight. So I'm just going to wait until we've got things rolling a little bit before getting stuck in. But yeah, so the main focus in a way is going to be how the syncing of a modular system, this is a small little rig here, how well the 505 works in a synchronizing kind of situation. So the modules that I have put together in here are largely for timing, rhythmical, drummy kind of things. So we'll do some little tests, but we'll also have some fun along the way. Now, last week when I was looking at the 505, there were a few things, well, quite a lot of things actually I didn't know how to do. There's still a few things I don't know how to do, which I'll talk about. But in the most, I'm kind of getting there. The main one really is just getting a little bit quicker with the bouncing workflow. So we're going to do a bit of that as well. And in fact, I think that's what I'm going to start with. Before I even use any of the modular, I'm going to just do a little rhythmical thing where we take one of the built-in rhythms, record it, and then apply effects and then bounce it across some of the tracks. So that's the plan. Okay. So the first thing you need to do then really to do that is you need to enable a track to be able to get its input from the rhythm. And that's a little bit obscure, but you go in, I have to remember how to do it. Oh no, that's my bounce menu. I'm going to forget how to do this now. Yeah. Okay. So in the track menu, if you go all the way to the last menu on the right, then you get this option to put the rhythm in. Oh no, well, that is on. Yes. Okay. I remember now. So confusingly, it does say that rhythm is switched on, but there's a master switch. So this is thrilling stuff, but let's just go into it. So we go into the rhythm menu and I think so. I'm going to get all this wrong now. Yes, I don't think it's there either. Oh, I know. It's like more... Right. So, having had this for a week now and having used the Mark I a lot, the Mark I is a little bit more direct. And there are a few things I prefer with the Mark I, although ultimately this Mark II is a better unit. But some of these things are a little bit buried. Also, there's a couple of features missing, and I'd be really interested if anyone knows how to do it and I've got it wrong. I'd be really interested to know. There doesn't appear to be a way of putting a count in, like being able to set 1 bar or 2 bars counting before the recording starts. Now, I really like that feature on the Mark I and use it a lot, and I haven't got one on here. However, what I have been doing is using the auto record with setting the sensitivity. So as soon as it detects something, it starts recording, and more about that later. But that's a lot to do with the synchronizing, as I say, I'll talk about this later, but the Pamela's workout, this yellow button, that starts everything. Okay, and let's have a look. Can we here? Yes. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a bit. So rhythmically though, that's what I was going to do. I'm just going to have a little. I'm just going to see if I can remember how to do this. I won't bore you if I've messed it up. Right. Okay. I'm going to go into the menu. I'm going to go into Input, Setup, Pan Across. I don't think it's there. Is it in Output, Setup? Yeah, see, so it's pretty buried. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. But yeah. So I'm going to start with something and just get myself moving, because I thought I'm looking for the feature that allows you to record the rhythm track, and it's in there. It's frustrating me though, because there's a lot of little sub windows, and it does get a little bit confusing. That can go. Sorry, being distracted by a call coming in. Let's make that not happen. Just getting my head together. I'll get into this in a minute now. That's thrown me. I did it loads of times and I've forgotten how to do it. I'll come back to it. It's thrown me. I'm going to come back to the main. Let's just go into the main issue then. Right. So here I've got this thing called the Pamela's New Workout. It's a module that's got a bunch of outputs on there. And I've actually got this here is the little expansion module that's connected with a little cable inside. And that gives me a few extra outputs, which are fixed kind of gates, but crucially gives me a MIDI output, which I've got going into the 505. Okay, so so when I press start and stop on it sends a MIDI start and stop message as well as the tempo. So that's going to be our master clock. Okay, so have a look here. Okay, and then modules wise, very briefly, this is called an IntelliGel Steppy. It's a 4-channel gate sequencer. So it's only sending gate signals, doesn't send pitch signals. And I've got that feeding a module called Rample. Now, those of you who've watched my Eurorack shows will say, these are all new modules, and they nearly all are. So, yeah, Rample is a 4-channel sample playback. Doesn't sample, but it does playback, and it's made by Squarp. And I've always wanted to have something up because I like the name Squarp. So now I've got a Squarp Rample. And then we've got Bloom from Qubit, which is a 2-channel sequencer. And it's got some nice little tricks up its sleeve. Next door is the venerable Platz from Mutable Instruments. It's an oscillator. Next door to that is Tides, which is my latest module, and I've just plugged it in for the first time. So that's there, but it's probably not going to do much tonight. Then we got the Pams. Then a little tiny one next door is a little Pico drums from Erica Synths, and then a little 4-channel mixer, and then the expansion. Okay, that's what we've got going on, and we've got MIDI coming out from this. This is the nifty case from Create Audio. I'm going to talk about this in a future episode, because what's great about this, apart from it being really good value for money, is it's got a built-in MIDI interface with USB. So it's an ideal little case if you want to have something to integrate with your computer. Anyway, so we're using this tonight though, because it's a nice small little case with the 505. All right. Oh, hello everybody. Nice to see people in the chat room. I'm going to be just focusing on this for a moment, just to get myself up and running. Okay. What have I needed to do in the 505? Nothing really in terms of MIDI sync, but we'll have a look at that anyway. If I was to go into the menu and find my MIDI page, and then there's a sync options here, and I've got it set clock to auto. Sync is on, start is all. Now the start is to do with the MIDI starting either just the rhythm or the whole kind of engine of this. Okay. One difference between the Mark I and the Mark II, which sounds quite subtle, but it's actually really useful, is you can prep the rhythm on this. I apologize if you can do this on the first one, but it meaning when you can, I've prepped the rhythm so it's flashing, meaning that as soon as it gets a MIDI start, it'll start up with the metronome. But if I press it again, it'll actually play at the current tempo, which is nice. It means you can kind of override the main clock. Well, again, I'll do some of that in a moment now. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Right, so the PAMs sends out gates. So we've got a gate coming out from the PAMs into this little steppy module. So when I press start on here, let's see. Okay, I'm sending I've got a very basic pattern. Let's just clear this pattern. So I'm going to go edit. Let's clear these patterns. Clear. Okay. And then the steppy is I think this is new to me as well, actually. But the steppy once you get used to it, I think is quite fast to navigate. But initially, it's pretty confusing because you've got a whole bunch of little step buttons and just a couple of switches. So you've got a select and you've got an edit. So if I use the select, I can pick which of my 4 I want to edit, and I can also mute them and various other things. But we'll do a really basic 4 on the floor pattern with this, just to kind of get the ball rolling. Okay. All right, so I select channel 1. I'm just going to, on the Rample, just pick a basic drum. I'll just go to the start, the first one on here. Okay, let's just put 4. Okay, this is about as simple as things get. 4 on the floor. So my tempo now then is coming from the Pamela's new workout. Speed things up, etc. But because I'm giving it a gate, instead of changing the tempo, I can just change the division. So I can slow it down, speed it up. Okay, so this is all fairly typical modular stuff. Now, how does this relate to this though? Well, this is giving this a MIDI signal that will be kind of based on the ×1 output on here. So this is the thing, this is the key thing, is being really in sync when you're using a 505 and something else, you know, where the 1 is and how to start things bang on. So let's just do really basic pattern then. Let's increase this tempo on here. Let's just go up to our friendly 120. That's not 120. I forgot my division wrong. So look, edit. Division, no, it's all good. All right. Oh. I've been doing this all day. I should be better at this right now. Okay. Oh yeah, I should mention a few other things that's going on as well. the Pamela's new workout is sending a reset message every time I press the yellow button, and also the Bloom gets a reset message. So every time I press that, it tells the module to start the pattern from the top. I'm just going to just yeah, the step E is new to me, so okay, here we go. So we're going to do something really, really so badger simple. It's just this is just to get our basic kind of sync going on here. Let's get on to the C. I don't know. Let's just keep it like that for a moment. Okay, so just a basic kick and snare. Let's just give that a bit more input gain. So I could record this is the module playing back. This is this playing back. So super simple. I mean, like you'd expect, but it's nice and tight. So if we wanted to add like lots of layers to this, let's send some different. Okay, right, this is gonna this is where things start getting fun. Let's get something. So this little thing that I like to do then, set the A, set it to be the manual pan. So now new incoming sounds. So a bit of, so we'll do it. Let this loop a little bit. Bit of a stereo thing going on it. So just mess with the pan as things are going down. Okay, so we're going to just do a basic thing now. So now, oh, actually, let's just do one more track. Let's put some auto pan on this now. It's not the best thing, but it'll do for this illustration now. Okay. Weird the timing of that. Okay, so I've got my first thing then. Let's see what happens if we change the tempo and see how well it follows it. So what are we on here? 83. And you can hear that. Let's get a bit more volume on here. Let's listen to what the time stretch does. Slow it. I just like listening on these parts. So if we were to let's put a delay on this, and let's make that delay like a tempo delay, panning delay. Let's make this like a really fast division. Okay, hang on. Let's crank the feedback. Let's get this effect. Let's get some more of this on. Okay. So let's add some new stuff at this tempo now. Let's crank the tempo up now. So this is our original tempo. Let's listen to our drum. This is that thing now that we recorded slow. So just overdub onto anyone, really. So recording in different tempos. Let's go at a medium tempo now. Okay, channel here. Let's slow this down. Okay, so I guess what we're trying to just do there was I was recording the loops at different speeds, and I could maybe, let's just see what we got here then. It's got this really basic starting sound. Take the effect off. I tell you what, I can definitely make a better one. I'll do a new one, but I'll save that, even though I'm not that into it, but I'll save it because that is the thing about this. It's just, it's kind of cool that you can just keep on going and just keep on going. And if you bother saving them, then you can drag those files across. And that is something I should talk about as well. Last week, I hadn't installed the driver for this, and now I know what the driver does because I've done that. So I will explain that in a bit as well, for when you want to connect that to a computer as an audio interface. Okay, so fresh. Let's do a fresh one now. But it seems to follow pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with it. So yeah, there is this thing though about not being able to do count-ins. I would like that. However, you see, at the moment, if I wanted it to start recording the moment I press this, I can do it by pressing this at the same time. But it makes me feel a bit nervous about whether I'm going to get the first beat. So let's just do a little experiment then. Let's see what we've got going on here. Let's just simplify this. Whoa! Behave! Okay. Put that back to 1. Okay. With the steppy, one thing that's quite nice is a long press. So this channel is playing now at the moment, this snare channel. Is it? B. I've got myself into something I've forgotten how to do on that, so that's the problem with these modules. Each one you really need to know really well. I thought, okay, I'm getting something wrong on that, so I'm going to ignore that one for a moment. Come to the bloom instead. Let's put a few more beats in on here. Sorry, channel 1. So what I'll do with this now is I'll create extra branches. This is just a sort of fancy way of creating random variations, but derived from the one that you've programmed in. So it'll give us a little. Now I've got the pitch of this sequencer coming out and coming into the plat, so I'm using like drum sounds, but I can influence the pitch of these notes as it's fairly abstract to this kind of sound. Okay, we'll do something like this now. Right, let's get my pan. I'm going to do some manual panning. Let's do like pan, manual pan. Okay, let's just layer some of these up now. Oh yeah, so I'll just press in and definitely getting a beat on that first one. Okay, so the way I'm going to get hopefully the tightest loop then is I'm going to go and I'm going to turn auto record on. Maybe I'll leave the threshold where it is. It seems to work. Okay, so now that track is essentially armed and it's waiting for the threshold to be crossed. So when I press start, that should give us a tight start. So put some manual pan in. Now let's play around with that same. Let's just double the speed of it. Oops. Let's do it from this one. I like stuff like this. Get a bit of this. Mess with the pan as well. If these are tracks are stereo, then let's. Okay. That's enough of that nonsense. Nice. Okay, just a bit insanity inducing. Let me try and. I think it's going to make all the loops on this little loopy thing, this steppy thing rather, all short. Just eight steps for now. Yeah. Okay. Let's just build this up a bit now. And I'm going to set some probabilities of this as well. So I'm going to make the pattern really busy. In fact, let's make it really silly busy. Okay. Probability. And with this, you don't set a probability per step, you set per track. So let's just change some of these now. Let's make the probabilities. Okay, so put a bunch of probabilities now in. I think on the kick track though, actually I'm going to change that back so the kick track is consistent. Okay. Let's change this rhythm. Let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's see how it. I'm going to stop this. Okay. Right. Whoa. Right. Let me just get this. It's a really wonky beat. Let me change that division. No, it's too fast. Let's go back to 2. Try to make something good out of this. Right, so our auto record is still on. So when I hit that, it'll be flashing. It'll be waiting for my new rhythm to come in. Let's just record a bit of this. Vary the pan a little bit. I'm going to regret that straight away because there's a kick. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to record that again. Let's stop that and let's say. We don't want kicks moving around too much. It's waiting. It's not the nicest, but we're just... Okay, that's enough of that for now. Okay, let's just see what we got now. So we've got the ability then to make these tracks. We can make them play, let's see, track sync here. Oh yeah, so I'm going to set all of the tracks to play in half speed. I thought they sound like at half speed. Let's try them at double speed. Yeah. Nice. I think. Let's see what's going on with this now. I'll slow this down.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to put these drums speed back to normal. One of the cool things about the Rample, this thing here, can I get across? Oh no, don't matter. This one here is, it is, that's a bit better. Can I just adjust that? I won't zoom it, but one of the things about this that does make it quite cool, amongst a bunch of cool features, but within each bank of samples, so you load in, well, you don't load in, you just sort of select which bank, and it's a bank of 4 tracks, but within each 4 tracks there can be up to 12 samples per voice, and then it can either round robin or random or cycle or manually select which layers play. So what that means is, though, that if you have you know, like 12 hi-hats all playing more or less the same, but with subtle variations. It just means that the samples, when you play them back, they just sound a little bit more interesting than you get obviously if you're just repeating the same sample over and over. Let's see this. Let's try it. Let's have a look at this then. So if I was to assign, so yeah, this kick has got one of 6 samples. We've got a little kind of indicator there. Yeah. Oh yeah, so track 3 has got the full 12 samples. The number playing is the number. So really clunky beat. Of course, I've got that probability on that beat, so let's I'm gonna make our snare channel kind of consistent. Right. Let's turn these ride cymbals down. It's a wonky thing going on here. So I'm getting some flams. I think the flams might be samples. There might be, those flams might be in the sample. Let's try a different sample bank. Oh no, I'm hearing something nasty. Let's see what's going on. One channel is clicking. Not sure what's happening there, but I'm going to unplug channel 3. So yeah, again here, this very simple pattern repeating, but if I was to look into the made up of 6 samples. Yeah, each track here is made up of 6 samples. So it just means you just get these subtle things going on. Okay. I've been bringing in, using the effect that's called the sustainer on here, which I think is designed for a guitar sustain. It's pretty crude and nasty, but it sounds quite good on drums. It makes them sound quite filthy. Here we go. Add a bit of hoof to them. For that one. Okay, let's do a bounce. Let's bounce this down. Let's do a bounce. So our track there is empty. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is the track I want for the track to be bounced into. So I'm going to turn bounce on for this track. Okay, so it's my 4 tracks then. Let's just get a little bit of beat. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Yeah. So in the this effect here, you can have layers of 4 effects, which is good fun, obviously. But also, unlike the Mark I, you can run them as single effects. Now, the advantage for doing that is that there's these ones like beat scatter, and I guess with good reason, you can't really expect it to do these on top of each other. Mind you, I'd like them to. But those, I think, are, oh yeah, you don't see them as an option if the effects are on to be layered. So what you need to do is you need to if I remember now, I think this is in, yes, effects, yes, and I choose single. Yeah, single. So now it only lets you pick one of the outputs. And the advantage of that, as I say, is if you load these up with the rhythm, you know, wherever they are. Here, they're right over on the right hand side. They should go all the way from the right. So in order, then we'll have A will be beat scatter, B will be beat repeat, C will be beat shift, and D, yeah, beat scatter, beat repeat, beat shift, and then D will be the vinyl flick. Okay, these are all from the Mark I, and they're one of the great fun parts of the Mark I, so I'm really glad that they've incorporated them. And also, when the Mark I first came out, the effects could only be singles like this, and then when the version 2 software came out, that allowed you to layer them like this. And that principle applies to both input and output track effects. So now those settings are going to mess with the rhythm. So if we get this playing back, I'll do it from here. Let's go. So beat scatter. And then beat repeat, we know beat repeats from then beat shift, which is sort of like just sliding it around, and then the vinyl flick. It's like a kind of record scratch thing. Okay, so now let's get all our beats playing and we'll have a bit of fun with these now. Okay, so next, so we've got this track set up here to take our bounce. So I've got those. I'm going to just mess around with some of those beats as they go down, and then we're going to make a little mix down. So these 4 stereo tracks are going to be essentially mixed down into track 5. So I've enabled that already. Over here, bounce is on, and now I've made a shortcut to bounce from this sort of home page here. So I can turn this to enable bounce on and off. But the other way to do that is if you go into the record menu and pan across, then you get this bounce menu, and in the bounce menu we can enable the bounce. So when bounce is enabled, the next time I press record, then everything that you hear will then be recorded. So all the mix and all the effects all gets recorded. So it's sort of like, to enable bounce, it's like making the stereo output go into here. But you can, if you want to, you can turn off elements that won't go into the bounce. So if you had some sort of timekeeping thing, that you can just disable them here, so they won't be included when you make the bounce down. So that's pretty cool. That's actually really, that's got a lot of functionality. So we're going to do that now. Our track is set to record as soon as it hears anything. So let's do it. Let's do it. No, it was waiting. Maybe. Oh, that's interesting. So the auto record doesn't listen to that, only auto records from the input. So it doesn't do that from the, oh, interesting. So here's a dilemma. I can't find a way to synchronize this recording now for when I do a bounce down. Yes, I can do it by pressing the button simultaneously, and that's what I'm going to do. But again, if there was a countdown and that countdown worked for the bounce down as well, as I could get everything playing like that, hit the thing, count it down, and then in. But can't seem to do that. But we'll see. Yeah, so we don't need to loop back this. Let's just see now. So this will work if I do it this way. I just press them in. Let's do it this way. Ah, I think it's not. It's still waiting for an input. There's a flaw in my plan. So I'm going to go into the record and I'm going to turn auto record off. So now, in fact, I might be in a fool. I should start it from here, I think. Let's just wipe that. Right, sorry, ignore me. Let me just do that again. What have I wiped on there? Let's just get that back. No, I've wiped a track. That's interesting. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll do it this way. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, that was absolutely dreadful. Ignore the music here. This is terrible. I'm going to do something again. But here we go, you see. We've got our bounce. Now, I'm going to do that again because it shouldn't have been so awkward. But yeah. That's awful. I was doing really good ones. Oh my goodness. It's always the same. I tell you that I'm doing them good, but then you're going, yeah, where's the evidence? Okay. I don't like this, so I'm going to wipe this. And I'm going to start. I'm going to do this again. Okay, so the thing that I'm really trying here, though, I guess, is I'm trying to make this always super reliable to be in on the clock, and it does seem to be pretty reliable. It's me who's not reliable. Right, let me just program this beat up a bit nicer. Okay, just going to keep this super simple. Okay, right. Okay. So let's just stop this a moment. There is a thing. These I'm using at the moment the samples that come with the Rample, and it comes with loads, and they are really good as a sample library. It's a lot of fun what comes in the Rample, but I can listen to what's in each. And when I play these, they go round in the order that they are in the so if I was to change that in the kick there, I'm about to do that. So I'm just stepping through all the different samples there. So they're all really similar, but there's that little bit of difference in them. It's just kind of really nice way of making a sort of sample playback device. Oh yeah, you can send in velocity, and you can have these samples change with velocity. Also, the Rample does have a MIDI in and a MIDI through on there, and haven't used them yet, but I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so play that little beat again. See what's going on here. So let's try that there. Okay. Super simple. Right, yeah, so again, I can punch in. Now, where did that start? See that? I missed. Because I triggered that and I must have pressed it a little bit too late, it waited to the quantized start for. See? It starts partway through it, so yeah. So you have to watch out for that. That if you want to trigger it, you just got to do it slightly before the downbeat. Did I get that wrong again? 1, 2, 3. No, that's doing it. It's synced, but so that's the slight frustrating thing. As I say, in the Mark I, you could have a countdown, so you could synchronize the countdown, and you know that you would always get the 1. Wow, we lost sound there. Okay, let's try that again. Right, so yeah. So then that's that other. So slightly frustrating. So then to make sure I get that 1, then I'd go back to the menu, into the record menu, and turn on auto record. And then do it that way. So it's waiting, and then this starts. Oops. So, yeah, I'd like to see an update be able to kind of I think I did an odd count then. Yeah, so yeah, that's slightly frustrating. I can't find any other way to do it other than if you use the metronome. See, the metronome does help you orient where the 1 is of the looper. 2, 3, 4. So if I get our drums playing. Oh, have I put my... It's my mistake. I had the kick the wrong way round. So it is all right. Yeah. So I was so it does work. It does work. Providing you programmed a pattern in the right way round. But also I'm fairly sure with the Mark I, but I might be wrong. When you hit record, you could hit record before the measure and it'd give you enough time. But now it would wait until the measure had closed before the loop would begin. But now I can only seem to do that to beat. Let's just test that now. One, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that was okay. Let's just do that again. After the downbeat. Yeah, it's waiting. That's cool. Seems to be working like I expect it to now. Must have been me. Now you see I landed on the downbeat then, so it started 1. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm in 1, 2, right. So you can trigger it in the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lit. Got it. Okay, so if you're 1, 2, and you do it before, so I'm going to tap it on 2. 1, 2. starts recording. Interesting. 1, 2. So slightly after 2, and it's good. 1, let's go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. All right. So there we go. There's something that you can learn, everyone, for syncing. You can hit it, but it has to be after halfway through the bar, and then it'll wait, and then it'll come in. Woohoo! Okay. So just figuring out that's kind of cool. As I say, without the the counting that you could do on the other one, you could work it out. You could make it to exactly come into exactly where you want, but that's okay. It's that. Right, I'm going to check in with the chat room. Sorry, everyone, for I'm being a little bit vague and not communicative. Martin Taylor, Gaz, I bet Alex Myler will know 505 glitches for sure. Or I'm sure he will. I can't wait to talk to him about this one, actually. Ask your head, with loopers, still think of the device on the floor, especially when recording guitar. Yeah, well, you can plug... Yeah, I've got foot switch inputs into this and MIDI input as well. So the MIDI input you can map to all sorts. So with a foot controller, that's something that I absolutely intend to do. Right. Okay, so we got this basic boring beat. Let's try it on a different kit. That doesn't work. Still getting glitching. I wonder what that is. All right. Going to try and get it doing. Let's slow the tempo down. Oops, long press on here. Okay, I'm going to do a real slow thing now. Sorry, bear with me. It's horrible. Ah, help! Yuck, hang on. Why is that not following? Why is that not following? Ah! It's doing my head in now. Ah! Aha! This is something come out? Ooh, okay, something. It's not seeming to respond. Why? Why is that? Clock! Behave! Right, that's not behaving. Oh, why? Alright, let's try something else then. Okay. Okay. Let's get these. Okay, let's record some of this now. One. Let's get this mutating more than. Nice. Now let's move this. Okay, that's just that loop playing now. So I'm going to try and keep sounds a little. So that's like my hi-hat track. I'm going to redo that one. So I'm going to keep this at, what tempo are we at? We are at, oops. We're at 52 BPM, but everything's kind of playing the way I can divide. Right, let's get some kick on the go now, I think. Right, let's get this. That's not very kick-like at the moment. There's a kick. There is a kick one on here. Ooh, hang on. Let's just get rid of that for a moment. Thanks everyone for bearing with me. I just fart around. One is coming into here. Yeah, okay. So channel 1 out. Let's just remind myself. Yes. To 2. So. Channel 1, let's just turn off. Okay. Let's turn off the branches. Let's keep this really simple for a moment. Oops. Can't remember which one is the kick, but Okay, well, I must. Let's try taking the pitch down. Okay. Let's take this out. Okay. I'm just exploring. That's the thing about Platts is there's so much in there. I'm getting very far in my quest for a kick though. Pitch. One of the things about Platts is that what it says isn't necessarily what it is. So like frequency, harmonics, timbre and morph, they do different things. Okay. That's vaguely kick-like. Okay. Let's make this pattern a bit longer. Nice. Okay. Okay. That's quite nice. Yeah, we're getting something happening now. I'm going to keep this pattern really super simple, I think. I'll just mutate it at the end. Just regret that little bit though. Okay. Yeah, I have regretted that little variation already. One thing that you can't do particularly easily is trim your loops on here. You could do it by setting up a channel to be a bounce track and then just grab the bit that you want. That's a bit fiddly. Okay. I'm going to get something else going on here as well. Let's change this pattern over. Right, let's get that now. Not interesting enough. Quite like that. It's a bit too much pitch in it. Sounding like a bass now. Okay, let's do some of this. Let's go melodic now. I thought you'd never ask. Course. Who left bounce turned on? So that's all in that track. That's kind of cool. It's an easy mistake to make if, you know, by leaving bounce on, I've got all of that cooked in the one. Overdub some of these then. Yeah, let's get a bit of melody on that one as well, so keep it in key with this. Same riff but on a fat sort of bass sound. Let's kick that in. There we go. I'll do it on the next cycle of this one, and then we'll play with the frequencies as it goes down. There we go. All right, enough of that. Okay, so it's pleasing. I'm getting, I'm quite pleased about it. In terms of the way this works as a kind of workflow. Ooh, Looper too busy. OMSG. It said a warning. I've not seen that before. Looper busy. I'm not sure what that is. It's playing back okay. Okay. So like say I want to keep that. Then push both buttons right. And then what's a little bit weird is it doesn't give you an option when you save to name it. So I would write enter executing. But yeah, you can name that, but it's not, you don't name it at the saving point. If you go into loop, is it in play? No, sorry, not loop, page across. Oh yeah. Yes, so you go into loop, page across, and then go into name, and then you can give it a name. But that's not at the save point. That's so you do that at any point you want, and then I guess you'd then save it. Just not bad particularly, but just a quirk, I suppose. How are we doing for time? I'm going to probably finish in a moment. Yeah, thanks for joining me, everybody, because this is just, I'm just trying to chronicle my journey with this 505. Coming on from next week. Moving on from last week. Getting places. Oh yeah, I did mention then if you connect this to your computer as a audio interface, it functions in two different ways. You choose whether it's vendor or whether it's generic. When it's generic, it's a stereo in-out audio interface, class compliant, so we'll work with an iPhone, with an iPad, etc. And it is a stereo sum of all the mixes, of all the inputs, and it's the output. It takes it from the output of the looper, so that stereo in, so it allows you to do all your mixing and effects and apply all of that to the input. Or if you use the vendor, then it comes up as a 8 input audio interface, and with I think it's 6 outputs. And the eight inputs are mic 1, mic 2, line in 1 and 2, line in 3 and 4. So that's 6 inputs there. And then 7 and 8, I'm happy to say, is the mix output. So if you set it to be in 7 and 8, I think it's that way around. You can do a full performance and digitally record that output, which I think is really cool. As an audio interface, you don't get an awful lot of control. Can we see it? Perhaps should have set it up better. But if I was to go into the menu, pan across to USB, then the options that we have are we can control the line out, and we can control the input of the USB and the output of the USB. So essentially, you could turn off your input monitoring and then use track monitoring from your DAW. And yes, you got a little bit of mix control there, which is kind of cool. Oh, thanks, Wagoo. I'm going to probably sign off. This is just a little ongoing thing. I'm going to make some little videos, I think, of tips with the 505 once I've figured out the shortcuts for doing stuff. Because I do think you do get a bit bogged down. And I've forgotten how to record the drum track. But there is a way to do it. It's one of these. It's one of these setups. Routing, maybe, is it? Routing. Oh yeah, track. No, routing. Yes. There it is. So if you want to record the drums, the built-in drums, that is, you have to go into menu. You have to go into output, routing, input, rhythm. And then pan all the way across till at the end here, and then turn on rhythm to record from loop. Holy cow, that's how you find it. So that routes it to the looper input, and then you can record it. So that's buried deep. Look at that. So that's in how many menus deep? 1 button press, 2 button press, 3 button press, 4 button press, 1, 2, 3. However many that is, lost count. But yeah, it is in there, but it's tucked right in there, right away. If you enable that, that means that the rhythm track is kind of routed like to be like an input track, so you can record it. But if you do that, then you must remember to turn it off if you are using the metronome. Otherwise, you will be writing your metronome or your drum tracks onto everything. Okay, thanks everybody. Yeah, not a classic episode. Work in progress, shall we say. But I'm going to be doing lots more with the 505. I really am. I hope you've seen some of the things I've done tonight. You start to kind of click with it. And because those tracks are then individual audio files over USB, you can drag them out, drop them into whatever you want to do. Of course, as soon as you've done a bounce, though, it doesn't keep those files. It just, all the 5 tracks are constantly being overwritten by whatever's going on. It doesn't save any layers. Not that I'm aware of. I know the undo, maybe the files. I'll have a look. Because if you use the mark back undo feature, which Nick Bat was talking about on Sonic Talk today, that's when you go into the undo menu. I go again. Where are we? That one. If you hit the FX button, I think it is, or maybe the track button, but you can drop in markers into your undo that allow you to move back and forth between different undo layers. That's homework for me. Wagyu saying, can you bounce into a new preset so your old preset still has individual files? Yeah. The way to do that is once you've filled up your tracks, then write that to the memory, then advance the memory on, and then save it into the memory, then save it again into the next memory slot, then bounce down, and then you can wipe things off and you can go back to your previous memory and you've got all your layers. So yeah, so you absolutely could work that way. Very good point. So actually, let's just prove that. That's final thing then I'll do now. Let's just do that. So, so we've got this. So I write that into the memory, which I think I've already done, but I'll do it again. Writing that into track. Yeah, and then I go to write again. Oh. I was going to do that. So how do you do that then? Because on the original, you could. Oh yeah, it's flashing. It's flashing. Yeah. So let's go back there. Sorry, being an idiot. Oops. No. Oh, more homework. Yeah, I'm not quite sure now how to do that. You could do it on the old one, because you could, when you went into the right menu, you could say, where do you want to save it? But this doesn't give me any. Ooh. Okay, well, it's a cliffhanger. I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger. I'm going to figure out how to do that. It's different from the original one, from the Mark 1. So I absolutely want to be able to do that. I absolutely want to be able to save and copy this memory into a new memory as well. I'm sure that's a really basic thing. It's like something that you definitely would want to be able to do. However, that's not totally apparent to me. I do think it does need a few tweaks in the operating system. I really do. I think some of it's a bit obscure, and I think it could be improved. And I'm sure it will. This is early days. It's a brand new product. What we saw with the Mark 1 was the upgrade from the version 1 software to the version 2. Transformed it, in my opinion, made it a much better thing. Anyway, so I'm gonna sign off with this mystery of how to do something which I can't see how you do it. No, okay. So thanks everyone. Be safe, and catch you in the next video. Thanks for sticking with me as well. You know, these shows are not always the most thrilling.